It's Nnamdi Asomugha and New Orleans native Mike.
Yes.
Y'all ready?
Does everyone have a bag?
Let me see. Anybody have a bag to check in?
It's early June, and Nnamdi Asomugha is starting a cross-country tour. He's the NFL's most sought-after free agent.
If you pay for Nnamdi Asomugha, the one thing you know you're paying for is a guarantee. You know that half the field is shut down like Dion.
You never really see a guy 6'2", to be honest with you, playing cornerback. He does a really good job, and he's been blessed with great ability.
He has long arms, so he can run with anybody in the league, and he puts his hands on you.
Everyone in the football world wants to know where he will land.
Where are you flying to?
We're flying to New Orleans.
But football is taking a back seat. Instead, Nnamdi will sample the fair, go to a Hornets game, even a Lady Gaga concert. Not with friends or family, but with a group of underprivileged kids he just met.
Thank you, Nnamdi. I'm really excited. I love basketball.
This just in, the latest on Nnamdi Asomugha. The Jets are out, the Cowboys are out, and everybody now is pointing to the Philadelphia Eagles as the team to beat.
A month later, the 30-year-old Pro Bowler signed a $60 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. And even though his job on the field is to take away, off the field, his parents, Nigerian immigrants to America, taught him to give back in a very hands-on way.
What do you get out of giving?
It feels good. You know, it feels good to give and see other people happy. Other people are smiling. Other people are experiencing some sort of joy. This place looks different. I mean, the tree, everything looks brighter.
Before Nnamdi was an Eagle, before he spent 8 seasons with the Oakland Raiders, this was his home in Los Angeles, California.
I mean, it was pretty cool, you know, 2-bedroom house. And for us, you know, there was a lot of us. It was like 9 people trying to make it in a 2-bedroom.
Nnamdi was raised with an older brother and 2 sisters. His mother, Lillian, and father, Godfrey, came to the U.S. from Nigeria in the early 1970s.
He came to this country with just this dream that he would be able to succeed and have a family, that he would be able to help and grow and contribute to society.
Get your education, you know, be who you want to be, go home and help or, you know, excel. That was the dream.
Nnamdi's parents both earned their doctorates. His mother became a pharmacist, his father a petroleum engineer for Texaco. Nnamdi learned the importance of education. There was always time for homework. There were also regular trips to his parents' homeland.
Growing up was fascinating, actually. We were exposed to a lot of different things and a lot of different people. Our worldview was never local, it was very global.
It's not like we were learning the American culture, and when we were growing up, we were learning the Nigerian culture in America.
There was also sports. Basketball was his first passion. Nnamdi grew up at the height of the Lakers' Showtime era in LA. His Magic Johnson jersey, his favorite piece of clothing. When he was 7, at his parents' suggestion, he donated it to the needy in Nigeria.
Magic Johnson was and is my favorite all-time NBA player, so it meant a lot, but you know, I ended up giving it away. It helped somebody, so it was good.
If you ask, Nnamdi will give. That's how his life is. He watches people and he feels your feelings.
In 1993, when he was 12, Nnamdi spent a lot of time learning the game from his father.
I remember finding the Super Bowl when the Redskins played the Raiders on tape randomly in the house and putting it in. Like, you were watching football in '83 when you didn't even really know what American football was.
Their father loved football, not that he played it, but he wanted to know what it's about. I remember when he didn't know anything about football, and he would sit and watch and get frustrated.
Sports were huge with him. His love of sports, I think, was a big deal, and that rubbed off a lot.
Just 1 year later, after Nnamdi started playing football, his father had a sudden heart attack and died at the age of 48.
The year was kind of like a big void. it's kind of still been like a big void, you know, just because so much happened that you don't want to remember.
The name Nnamdi means "my father lives," and after his father's death, Nnamdi dedicated himself to the game his father loved, football. Every game, every play, an opportunity to learn.
So what memories come back when you see this field?
I'm the kick returner, and I'll never forget. Get the ball, get the kick return. I think I'm off to the races. Some guy comes out of nowhere, strips the ball. They recover.
Y'all lost the game.
We lost the game. And
Thanks to you.
Yeah, thanks to me. Now it'll be like a guy catches a ball, or you know, something like that.
If you give up a catch,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
the end of the world.
To other people, they'll think like, oh, that's nothing. But to me, that's like, that'll get me going.
By 1999, Nnamdi was a standout high school football player in LA. He chose to play college football at Cal. There, he was an all-conference safety, graduating with a degree in corporate finance. Asomugha was selected late in the first round by the Oakland Raiders in the 2003 NFL Draft, where the commissioner mispronounced his name.
I get a different pronunciation, you know, at least every week. The funniest one that I got, somebody called me Oguzman instead of Asomugha. You know, like, what? Where'd you get Oguzman? For, you know, it's like Oguzman or something. It's like, come on, man, give me a break.
The Raiders had been his father's favorite team. Nnamdi would soon become their MVP. After leading Oakland with 8 interceptions in 2006, opposing quarterbacks simply stopped throwing his way. He became a 3-time Pro Bowler, and in 2009, the Raiders signed him to a 3-year, $45 million contract, making him among the highest-paid players in the league. At the same time, Nnamdi was giving back. He and his mother started Orphans and Widows in Need, providing food and medicine to women and children suffering from extreme poverty and abuse in Nigeria.
So the goal with everything that we've done has just been to raise awareness, to see if that could garner more attention and help to the situation.
In 2007, Nnamdi founded the Asomugha College Tour for Scholars, called ACTS for short. Each year, he selects high-performing, low-income high school students from California that meet his GPA requirements.
We'll have 50-something students in a school send in essays, and then it'll be narrowed down to maybe like 10 or so. And then when it gets to that point, then I'll be looking at them and I'll be reading them, you know, to sign off.
Then, Nnamdi takes them on an all-expense-paid college tour to different cities: Atlanta, Boston, and New York. The 2011 tour visited New Orleans.
Once the day starts, everybody starts going crazy. You had students that were doing really well, but then had never even been outside of the East Bay area. Started to love traveling. So I just put that together with the with the want to help those students. And so I just said, let me do something where we'll get out and get that accomplished.
One of those students is 18-year-old Amber Adams. A straight-A student from Oakland, she grew up in a single-parent home with no means for a higher education. Those that know her say her mother had no interest in Amber's education. In 2010, Nnamdi chose Amber, then a junior in high school, to go to Washington, D.C.
I was ecstatic. I loved it. You know, I've never been to D.C. before. I don't know, things like that just don't happen to me.
Amber has a young brother who is autistic. For 6 years of her life, she has been his caretaker. And she never thought she could get out of this until Nnamdi came along.
Before going on this tour, I had no idea where I wanted to go. I would literally ask people, hey, where should I go to college?
Well, my most fond memory is seeing Coward because I've now decided on where I really want to apply to.
It was just a feeling that I knew it just felt like home.
Amber ultimately chose a school Nnamdi had taken her to, Howard University in Washington, D.C., where she received a full academic scholarship. She is a freshman and will graduate in 2015.
You want to be able to impact the students in a way that there was meaning behind the tour.
Has it been brought to your attention the specific impact that you've had on the young people that you've taken on these college tours?
I don't think I'm fully aware of it, just because I don't ask and I don't try to get immersed in that emotional attachment to what it's doing.
I can say that my favorite part is that I got to try so many new things. Like, I've never been bowling before, or I never got a chance to meet sorry.
What were you thinking as you were watching Amber? What does that do to you?
It's such a bigger deal than I know it to be. And I like that.
For some, the saying, "It's better to give than to receive," may be a cliche. But for Nnamdi Asomugha, it's not. It's a way of life.
When great people come around like Nnamdi, they change the paradigm. I would hope that all football players look at him and take on a challenge.
He's one of those guys who I think embodies what an American success story is. He wants to leave his footprints on this planet.
He is still the same child that I raised. He does not only make me proud, he makes my people proud.
What do you think your dad would say to you if he could see who you are today?
You know, it's what he came to America for, was for better living for all of us. And, you know, the fact that I was able to get to the point where I am and be able to help out my family and friends in the way that I can, I think would be huge. It'd be like his dream coming true.